always like to get kind of a read on the audience as to where you're from. And so just raise of hands of those that are from Lebanon Sweet Home area. Wonderful. And then what about Albany? Great. Okay, what about Corvallis? Anybody here from Corvallis? Super. What about Brownsville? We have some of our members that live in Brownsville. Awesome. And then Newport, Toledo, Depot Bay, Lincoln City. Very, very nice. It's great to see a good representation from everybody from our whole three-county region. And that's something that Samaritan Health Services and Samaritan Health Plans has always really prided itself on, is that we are from the community for the community. That's why we exist. That's why Samaritan Health Plans exist as well. We would not be in existence without you as our Samaritan Advantage Health Plan members. So thank you very much for being part of our health plan. We're here to serve you. Well, over the next little time we have together, I'm going to talk about wellness. And everybody has a different definition of the word wellness. And I personally have liked the definition. Some people talk about health, but we can classify health into good health and poor health. What I like about the word wellness is we are all at various stages of being well. And classically, the healthcare system has focused on poor health, or giving health care to people that have a certain disease state, or you go to the doctor when you're feeling unhealthy for some reason. But I like the change in tide where we're refocusing, reshifting more on wellness and health, and what are the things that you can maximize from your own lifestyle to better benefit your own health itself. Once we are engaged as human beings with the healthcare system, we are much more apt to be a partner in our healthcare decisions. And that's really what we should be doing and should be happening to us as individuals. We should go to the healthcare system, to the doctor, try to find out more about our health conditions so that we can be a willing partner in what is happening to us and not have a healthcare system do something to us. We have to be part of those willing, engaged partners. So through our journey today, we're going to talk about different aspects of wellness. And it's important as we go through this exercise to reflect a little bit more on our own individual lives. And these 8 aspects of wellness that I'm going to talk to you about, it's important to know that not all of them are at the highest at all points in our lives. That we have to do an inventory of these 8 aspects of wellness. And when there is one that is maybe taking a little bit of a downturn, our social wellness, our financial wellness, it's important to then see how can we bolster up the other aspects of our wellness to help make that balance. So it's not that we expect all these 8 aspects of wellness to be at the very highest at all points in our lives, but it's a balance. And when we find that one aspect is decreasing a little bit, we can help make ourselves as human beings and individuals more balanced by reshifting and focusing on other aspects of our wellness that we're doing really well in. So what is wellness? I talked about this a little bit already, but we believe that wellness can be characterized by our purpose in life. Why are we existing? Why are we here? Do we have a mission, a guiding mission, a calling that is guiding us in our everyday lives? Do we have satisfying work and play, however you may define your work, whether it was a previous job experience, whether it's now volunteer activities when you're in retirement age? Do we have relationships that help bring us joy? Or are we bogged down with some relationships where there is not a lot of joy in there? And do we have to reshift and focus on more of those joyful relationships? A healthy body and living environment is very important, and that gives overall happiness. More and more studies have shown that if we look at the glass half full instead of half empty, we do have a more joyful life. And these people actually have better health outcomes than people that traditionally always look at the glass half empty, are pessimists. So there's studies now showing that the more optimistic we are, it actually does impact our life in a more healthy way. Wellness involves every different aspect of part of our lives. And you'll see these 8 aspects all listed here: spiritual wellness, mind wellness, body wellness, financial wellness, emotional wellness, environmental wellness, work wellness, community wellness. First, your body. We recognize the need for good physical activity, eating healthy food. Food is part of our nutrition, our building blocks for our body, and sleep. We sometimes forget about the importance of sleep, and especially as our bodies are aging, we find that maybe there's more sleep issues that we didn't have previously, or we can get by with less hours of sleep, but we really have to look at the quality of the sleep. Are we getting up every hour to 2 hours to use the bathroom, to use the restroom through the middle of the night? That can impact our sleep. Are we having issues like sleep apnea, where we have a mask on our face? That can definitely affect the quality of our sleep. So what are some ways we can increase our physical wellness? Make an effort to be active at least 30 minutes a day. And we can break that up. If you found that 30 minutes was just too much to do, you can break it into 3 10-minute allotments throughout the day. But a lot of the studies have shown that if we try to meet this level of 30 minutes of activity a day, our heart, our cardiac function is much better off than if we did not. Walk instead of driving wherever you can. Make healthy food choices. Get enough sleep. We talked about this already. And seeing a primary care doctor regularly, not because we want the healthcare system to get more money. Primary care doctors are there to help guide you in your wellness activities. Prevention is key to preventing diseases that may strike us. So having a complete physical examination or a dialogue with your doctor about different stressors that you may have is a very important thing when you're talking about your aspects of body wellness. Emotions. How can we cope effectively with life and create satisfying relationships? And what are some of the ways to increase your emotional wellness? Well, first, you have to be aware of your feelings. You have to know, getting up in the morning, how are you feeling that day? It's okay to ask yourself. It's okay to tell your family members and your loved ones how you're feeling. How often do we bottle up things inside because we don't want to share something, and we can see that it negatively impacts us throughout the day? We want to seek support for coping with upsetting emotions. People are emotional beings, and we can't hide our emotions. And we should be able to talk about them appropriately with family members, with friends, with those that have a listening ear. Our community. That's why we're here today. We're a community. And we need to develop a sense of connection, belonging, and a support system. So what are some of the ways that we can increase your social wellness? Well, you could make a list of supportive family members, friends, neighbors, club members, parishioners, and try to make at least a connection a day by calling, emailing, or visiting someone. It might just be picking up the phone with a family member or friend that you hadn't talked with for a while. Or maybe you have a regularly standing appointment where you'll talk on the phone with a certain person a certain day of the week at a certain time, and have that built into your daily regimen. Join a club, a social group, or a support group. And especially if you've just moved to a new location. You may have been working in a different place of the state, of the country, and relocated here to retire, and what a beautiful place to ever retire at. But you have to make sure that you are reaching out and making those social connections and trying to meet people that are in your new community that you've lived in. Volunteering, especially once we reach that retirement age where we may have looked at our jobs, our occupation as our purpose in life, and then that changes all of a sudden. Well, where could you try to make yourself more available to a volunteer organization? Maybe you could, if you were a tax accountant for all of your life, maybe you are able to help volunteer at a retirement facility or another facility where people are still doing their taxes and need that extra help. So looking at ways that you could bring your previous skills to a volunteer organization. Your work. Well, we talked about this a little bit, about work balance and life? And what are some of the ways to increase your work wellness if you're still working or if you're volunteering? Dig out the interests you used to have. Did you always want to take flying lessons? Dance a tango? Be an artist? Or get a college degree in something that you love? It never is too late to go and do one of those things that you always dreamed about. Use your time in a way that gives you meaning and purpose. And do the things with other people, often not to feel isolated or alone. Volunteer in the community, or consider volunteering if you haven't done that yet. Or if you know of a personal friend that already does volunteer activities, ask them, could I just tag along with you and just kind of see what you're doing? And maybe it might pique your interest. Your mind wellness, very important. The more creative you are in searching out to do new tasks, people that do daily crossword puzzles are actually able to keep stretching their mind, and it's a really good thing to keep your mind active. What are some other ways to increase your intellectual or mind wellness? Take a class, read a book, share what you've learned with others. Now, as we're aging too, sometimes our eyesight, if we have a condition called macular degeneration, that can start to affect the pleasure that we once had in reading books. Maybe you could look at getting a Kindle. And in Kindle, there are certain books that have a read aloud feature, where you can still take part in enjoying your book, but it is reading aloud to you, rather than you needing to read the pages. So that might be an option if your eyesight is going. Scrapbooking, creating a discussion group. These are all things that you could challenge your mind. Research a topic that interests you. Now many people have access to the internet. What I say about the internet, garbage in and garbage out, so don't believe everything that you always read on the internet, but go to reputable sources and start to learn about a topic that you've always wanted to learn about. Mentor somebody in a subject that excites you. If you know of somebody that's younger and you could take them on as a mentor and you could help teach them, that's a way to actively engage your mind. Your finances. How often is a financial stressor going to impact our overall wellness? But what are some ways that we can increase our overall financial wellness? Be thoughtful and creative about budgeting and spending. As I say to my kids, I have 3 teenagers, and it's always that discussion of, well, is it something you want to buy, or is it something you need to buy? And often if we reframe that in something that is necessary, that we need to, we're better able to spend our money on something that's necessary and that's needed versus something that we might always just want or desire. Use your checking and saving accounts to monitor your spending and saving habits. And reduce stress by limiting purchases on credit. Credit card debt is one of the biggest ways that we can get ourselves in trouble from a financial wellness perspective, and especially if you always just pay off your bare minimum on your credit cards. So see if there's different ways that you can look at your budgeting to try to pay off your credit card debt somewhat earlier, or transition to a new credit card that has a lower interest rate compared to a higher interest rate credit card. Your environment. Want to make sure we find a pleasant, stimulating environment that supports well-being. All you have to do is take a look outside at the wellness garden and take a walk around the new hotel. And that is really the picture of environmental wellness. There's a lot of plantings and shrubs and landscaping that's designed to give you a feeling of calm when you're walking through the garden. So if you haven't had the chance to do that yet, after this session today, please take a stroll through the wellness garden, and you'll start to feel your body slow down. Take advantage of the nature around you. But what are some other ways that you can actually increase your environmental wellness? Well, let's say you have a favorite color, and you've been staring at the same white walls in your living room forever. Well, get somebody to paint it for you in your favorite color. It's an inexpensive way to add something in your environment, and if you don't like it after a year or two, you can always repaint it again. Open up your curtains and blinds to let more natural light in. Natural light is much, much better for us Then the light from computer screens and phones and iPhones and iPads. That type of light is an unnatural light, and it stimulates the prefrontal cortex of our brain a little too much. And we need to actually get more natural light into our surroundings. If you have a lot of high allergies, regular cleaning is key, and especially vacuuming of carpets. It's a way to get more of an environmental wellness in your home. Spend time outdoors. Now, I know that's hard to do when you're in the middle of allergy season, and the grass seed is in full bloom, and that can be quite difficult. But when those allergies die down, or at different times of the day when the pollen counts are lower, see if you can get yourself outside, get some natural sunlight for our vitamin D. And evaluate your space to see how you can make it more safe. It's really important as we're getting older, that does come with more ability to have falls, because we do become a little more unsteady on our feet. So looking at your environment, are there rugs in place where you could trip and fall right on them? Do you have handbars or different things in the showers to help assist you in getting in and out of the shower? And it's really good to take an inventory of that environmental space so we can help reduce any potential for falls. Your spirit is what guides you in here. And it's your sense of purpose, your meaning in life. So what are ways that you can increase your spiritual wellness? You could make time for practices that enhance your sense of connection to yourself, to nature, to others. Do some mindfulness, some meditation. There's some thoughts that, well, meditation, I've heard about that, that's kind of hokey, isn't it? Well, actually, shutting off your brain and just listening to your heartbeat, listening to your breathing for a couple of minutes of a day is a type of meditation. And it can better prepare you for any stressors that you may have in that day. You can find a community that shares your same spiritual outlook. Believe in something. There are a lot of studies that show that people that have faith, that have spiritual wellness, live longer than other people that aren't connected with a community church or their faith. And these 8 aspects of your wellness are all interconnected with each other. And like I said earlier, while a certain part may be strong at a particular point in time, others may need a little more attention. So just remember, your wellness is more than physical. So we can ask ourselves, what affects you? So thank you very much for listening. We're going to get on with our next speaker. Thank you again for coming today. We really, really get excited from Samaritan Health Plan's perspective when we see the ability to engage and have a dialogue with our own members. We're very proud of what we're doing in our 3-county area, and we want to share with you our pride. So hopefully you can leave today and talk with some of your own community members and neighbors that might not be aware of what Samaritan Advantage Health Plans is all about. I forgot to introduce myself at the very beginning. My name is Kevin Iwunchina. I have a long last name, and it was listed earlier on the first slide, and people often ask, where is that name from? The origin is actually Ukrainian in origin, and all 4 of my grandparents came from Western Ukraine. So back in Ukraine, the name would have been Ivanchina. It sounds a little more Slavic that way, but the spelling changed because it changed from the Cyrillic alphabet to the English alphabet. I am a family physician by training, and I still see patients in urgent care in Corvallis a day a week. And this is my 3rd year now being with Samaritan Health Plans as Chief Medical Officer. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed working in Samaritan Health Plans for the last 3 years are the people. The people that I get to work with day in, day out really care about you. They would not be here if they didn't feel that they couldn't make a difference in somebody's life. And that's one of the things that keeps me getting up to come to work every day, because I get to interact with great people that really are keeping our members in the front and center of everything that we do. We're not just a typical insurance plan. We really are a health plan that cares. So thank you very much for coming.